Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture.com, and right now I'm joined by Lawrence from FarmLink Marketing Solutions. How are you doing today, Lawrence?
I'm fantastic. Thanks, Sean.
Hey, Lawrence. So TPP is announced. Big opportunity for Western Canadian farmers. What is the big opportunity?
Well, the big opportunity is really been, I think the real winner has been the canola oil, because we have a 15% tariff right now on canola oil, and it's prevented the Canadian crushers from really exporting it there. You know, Japan is really our second largest market for canola seed. China being number one, they've overtaken the Japanese in the last couple of years. But we've had this tariff, and if you look at our domestic crush capacity, we have the ability to export there, but we've had this tariff, and for a number of years, the Canadians and the Canola Council and others have been trying to get the Japanese to remove this. And so what I see moving forward is we're going to continue, or they're going to continue to take 2.2 to 2.3 million tons of canola from Canada per year. And it's also going to allow the ability for some oil to start to flow into Japan. And I don't think it's going to impact the crush industry at all there. They're still going to take the Canadian canola, but it's another outlet, which means that we've got the extra demand through our domestic crush.
So do you think that really means, that's great, exports go up, but a lot of farmers are listening to this and saying, okay, but does that mean more money in my pocket?
Well, essentially, when you start looking at it, the oil is probably going to give you a bit of a better return. And if you look at our capacity on the West Coast, we do have that capacity for the oil. We do have that domestic capacity. So I do think it is eventually going to put in extra money in the farmer's pocket, and that'll be through basis, essentially.
Now, all of the grower groups have, whether it be wheat or canola or barley or soybeans, everyone's talked very favorably about the deal. Where does it benefit areas like feed barley?
Well, on the feed barley, if you look at Japan's really our largest market for feed barley year after year, excluding the years when the Saudis come in, but the Black Sea market has pretty much taken that over. But if you look at what the Japanese have taken for feed barley, they're our second largest market next to China, and China's essentially been taking the malt barley. That's been their biggest. But if you look at Japan, 355,000 tons per year over the last 5 years, their average. And if we have the ability to increase it by another 150,000 tons, it's absolutely fantastic. It's an ability to move into a market where you have zero tariff.
So, Lawrence, when you look at this deal, and I'm sure yourself and the analysts at FarmLink have run a lot of numbers here, which of the commodities in the ag space is the real winner in your mind?
Yeah, I think that the big winner here is canola. Number two is probably barley, and number three is probably wheat from my perspective.
Okay, so why wheat?
Well, you've got the tariff right now for wheat, and that's going to be removed, and it's going to be small. It's not going to be a huge tonnage, but for the feed wheat, it's an opportunity to go into Japan as well. So, and if you look at Vietnam was another one as well. They're going to remove that. Vietnam's a big market. If you look at the market for Vietnam, they took in 380,000 tons from the world, mainly from Australia, in 2007. And by 2011, Vietnam was importing 2.4 million tons per year. The Australians, we've been fighting with the Aussies to get into that market, and it's a logistical thing. They do have an ocean freight advantage, but it's a market where I think that there's great opportunities. And just by removing a 5% tariff over 5 years, I think it's going to be, it's long term. You got to view it as long term, and it's another opportunity for us to have market access.
Well, it seems from the whole aspect of agriculture, even dairy said, they even spoke, somewhat positively about the agreement. It really seems from an ag's perspective, and there's other industries that are involved in TPP, but from an ag perspective, it really is being looked upon in a very, very positive light.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, when you think about it, Canada's now concluded free trade agreements with 51 countries. And if you look at, with access really to about 60% of the world's economy, and in this deal here, the GDP is worth $28.5 trillion. So anytime you can move in, strike a deal with 12 countries, and it allows access where you've got tariffs being reduced or eliminated completely, it's just a win-win situation, not only for Canadian farmers, but also for the destination markets as well.
Okay, Lawrence, well, thanks a lot for joining us today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Have a great day, Sean. Thanks.